All right, welcome to Wrestling with Reality. I am John, and of course, joining me is my partner, Mr. Richie. What's up, man?
What's up, brother, man? I see you picked a new song tonight.
You like it?
Oh, yeah. Good tune, man. This is a classic for Randy Orton.
Oh, dude, I think it's my favorite theme version for Randy.
Is it?
Yeah, I love it.
I got to hear it live out here at the Glendale Arena. It was pretty cool to hear on their surround sound. So
he's always had some badass music, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fucking
My
Randy
favorite for Randy Orton was the Evolution song. I thought that was one of the coolest
Good
songs.
one. I don't think there's ever been one of his I haven't liked or anything like that. So, man, what a legend. Maybe we'll talk about Randy tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know, man. I'm sure he'll be brought up a little bit.
We'll see. Well, welcome, everybody. Hope everybody's doing great. It's Tuesday night. We're happy to be here with each and every one of you. We hope you are having a wonderful week. And let's kick back. Let's relax. Let's have a good time. Let's talk about some professional wrestling.
Can I just take a second?
Go ahead, brother.
Rewind.
Where is he? The YouTube is back up. I think we might be off suspension. I don't know. I think it's probably back. Hopefully.
We need the punishment bowl.
Yeah, hopefully it's back up on YouTube. Yep, it looks like it's back up on YouTube right now. So there we go.
Awesome.
I'm happy with that. Rewind. Where are you? Where are you? Scott Jenkins says, "I am ready." What's going on, Scott? Sean says, "You know what I'm cooking? Maybe if it's good." Jude says, "I've been waiting for this since the AEW pay-per-view the other day. I got a ton on my mind about it."
Can't wait to hear that.
Going, fellas?
Oh, good, Jude.
Review. Horrible. Wasn't wrestling when you're injected with a needle. We're definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah, hepatitis C is all elite.
Yeah, it is definitely all elite.
Yeah.
Solid pay-per-view until the BS. We're going to have a good time talking about that. That's right, Sean. We're going to ring the bell Tuesday night. Jeremy, what's going on? It's finally here.
What's up, Jeremy?
I look forward to it more than I do Friday. What is up, everybody? I'm going to try to get all the comments. Yes, give me a hell yeah. All right.
Oh, hell yeah.
Where is Black Jack Laza at? Is Rewind
Black
here?
Jack
See, look at
Laza.
this. They know all the characters of the show
Yep.
now. That's what I love. Everybody's a big part of it.
The monster of its own, man.
Look at this.
Rewind's in the house.
Here he is.
Okay,
Rewind.
man.
We're
Okay.
expecting a good punishment bowl tonight.
We have such a cool opening for you too, buddy. It's gonna be awesome.
Dude, I can't wait. Let me just click this music off. I'm not giving it his theme till later when we get this segment. He's here.
Yeah,
That's
he's
right.
here.
It's the RKO, the Rewind KO.
Yeah, the Rewind KO.
John and Richie should be tag champs. All right, Scott, I support
Thank you, Scott. We actually have tag team champs made. I had them custom made.
Dude, you still got it. We're gonna have to link that up when we meet up next month for sure. Rewind, we're happy to have you here. We're happy to have all of you here. We hope you guys are having a great week. And if you're listening to us on the radio on Saturday or Sunday, whenever this airs, you got to come out on Tuesdays and join us about 9:15 to 9:30ish every Tuesday night. We're on our YouTube and Facebook, Wrestling with Reality, and we hope you guys come out and join us and check it out. Derek's here too.
What's up, Derek?
Rewind has the Joe Hendry say his name thing. I want a thing. I'll start the Scott Hall. Hey yo, one more.
Hey yo.
We got to think of one for Derek. Derek's a fucking man with some knowledge of this business, as we learned on the last trivia contest. He absolutely
We'll call him the brain.
Shit out of everybody.
Derek the brain.
Yeah, dude, this guy knows his shit. If we were cheating on wrestling, I'm going to cheat on Derek's paper.
I'm telling you,
dude. We'll think of a good little calling for you too. Everybody will get one. Yeah. RKO rewinds, counts oldies. He does like the oldies. That's right, Sean.
That's true.
Can't wait for Bad Blood. Yeah, we'll talk about Bad Blood later on, Scott. Probably later on in the second half of the show. We'll talk about that. We
actually got one of our group members going to it, Jeremy. He's going to
Jeremy's
live in living color, man. I'm jealous. I'll tell you that. I haven't been to a pay-per-view in a long time. Been to many of them. And Bad Blood's setting up to be a really good one. So, Jeremy, you've got some great tickets, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about it on the second half of the show too, Scott. So stick around. If you've never been out for the full experience, we go for a couple hours every Tuesday for everybody. So there's kind of two segments of the show and the way that we do it. So stick around to the end. We'll definitely be talking about Bad Blood because it's the next thing up. Oh, Rewind's got a great name for Derek, the professor of professional wrestling.
It's done.
Done. Mike Tenay's not the professor. We got Derek.
No, we got Derek, man.
Fuck yeah. All right, I like that. I want my calling to be ho ho ho.
Dude, when we start getting the merch rolling in, Jude's gonna have a T-shirt. Rewind's gonna have.
Jude gets like the William Regal man's man one.
Absolutely,
man. You know,
he's
that's what he. Yeah, he's a man's man. That's Jude's right there. Sean wants get aboard the Ho train. Hey, there's a good one too. All right. Let's see. Starting on October 7th, Monday Night Raw, 2 hours instead of 3 for the rest of the year. Yes.
Good thing. I'm glad they're testing those waters, man, because they need to go back to that shit.
Yeah, let's kick it off with that. We'll talk a little modern news, and then later on in the show, for the first hour, we're going to talk about wrestling. Is it hotter now, or was it hotter before? Which is really the peak, the highest peak in professional wrestling. When is the hottest time in it? We want to hear everybody's opinions on that. It's not really a black and white answer. You know, it's got a lot of different things that we can factor into that. So that will be where we end up on the first hour. And then the second hour, of course, is our overtime segment where it's whatever the hell you want to talk about, we are there for. So maybe I'll hold off on AEW till the end because I think a lot of people want to talk about AEW on the call-in feature.
Sure.
So maybe I'll hold off on that till the end. But let's chat about this 2 hours. Raw has been 3 hours since what? I think about 2012 or something like that.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah, 2012-ish. So they've been 3 hours for. And now at the end of this contract with USA, because of course they signed that landmark deal with Netflix and they're going with them in early January.
Right.
And they announced on Twitter, I think it was last night, or on their social medias that starting in October, Raw is going down to 2 hours, 8 to 10 time slot. So USA is preparing for life after Raw. And apparently when they go to Netflix, they plan to keep them at 2 hours as well when they go to Netflix. Now, that has not been confirmed yet, but that is the rumor. And what do you think about it?
I think it's the smartest decision they can do. I think less is going to be more with this approach. And, people don't have the attention span to watch a product, whether it's wrestling, whether it's football, whether it's hockey, whatever. Nobody can sit there for 3 freaking hours and watch a TV show. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen. I think you're going to get the meat and potatoes, putting it in 2 hours. I think that's going to make them more challenged to make creative content, edgier content, and push the envelope a little bit like they used to. That's what brought them to the dance to begin with, man. They paid attention to the 18 to 45 demographic, and that's what they kicked WCW's ass with, that formula, and that's what brought them to the dance. And they need to go back a little bit and relook at what made them so successful, what made them this global conglomerate that they became. It's not this superhero insult your intelligence stuff that even Vince McMahon made a commercial about in the 90s.
Yeah,
they're not going to do that anymore.
Yep.
And they did it. They went full circle and they were doing it again. Look no further than, you look at that superhero gimmick that
Nikki Ash.
It's hot garbage. It's insulting to wrestling fans like me that have been forgotten, who they don't pay attention to making content for us anymore. It's all about the kids and the donors and stuff like that, the big people that pay money and stuff like that, the advertisements and stuff. So I'm really excited to see this move back to Netflix. I think it's going to be an epic moment for them, and I think it may put them back on the map as far as being that huge figure again on Monday nights.
Yeah, 3 hours just is too much. I mean, during the Monday Night Wars, we craved it, but then you saw how stale it made the shows, for Nitro. There was no mystery. They had too much content that was out there every week.
Right.
And you can oversaturate your product, and especially if it's not good. And Raw's got better, it's definitely improved, and so it's not the complete pile of shit that it was a few years ago. And that was embarrassing.
I think the darkest time for Raw, besides there's been some
the Shorty G era.
The Shorty G era was part of it, but the darkest part of Raw for me personally was the celebrity guest appearances.
Oh yeah,
where they would be the guest hosts. That was the worst time, I think, in Raw history.
And they didn't even know half the time anything about the wrestling product or the wrestlers. They'd mispronounce their names and shit.
So it was so bad, dude. Like
awful.
That was the time, unfortunately, in wrestling. And a lot of that was CM Punk's time, which I regretfully missed, because I just couldn't stomach it, dude. It was just garbage.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a positive for them, but going back to something that I'm going to read everybody's comments here as much as I can. Sean's a fan of it being 90 minutes. Okay. Hour and a half. Jude says, I'm afraid they're going to try and squeeze too much into 2 hours. Hopefully it doesn't seem like a rush show. That's my fear.
Possibility.
That's my fear a little bit with it, because they are so accustomed to now being this, 3-hour brand on this show every week. I think they're going to have to change up their style a lot, how they do things, because like Jude said, it's different to try to cram it all in. I think it'll definitely affect probably some of the people on that roster that they don't have that extra hour of television now.
They've got 3 shows though. I mean, let's be realistic. They do,
but they got a massive roster too.
Yeah, but they need to start thinning the herd a little bit on that roster. A lot of them guys aren't needle movers or anything like that. They need to start thinning it down. I think that will help a little bit in the content too, because you're trying to fit all these people in and give them all their moments and all these things. It's hard to do,
Yeah.
We had consistent characters every Monday night, every week when we were kids.
It was always perfect at 2 hours back in that time frame, I think, for Raw. And I do think, though, Jude, it definitely will equal roster cuts, man. I really do. I think they're going to have to eventually cut some people. And it's like Richie said, it's necessary. It's a necessary evil sometimes in business. You just got to do it. And it's not a disrespect to anybody. It's just that they have a business to run, and they got to put the most marketable product out there for every 2 hours instead of 3 now. So I think it's going to be cool when they go to Netflix, though, because I think it's going to give them that opportunity to not be as PG anymore and start making it more spicy again.
We've been saying this for years. They need to do that. They need to bring back color. They need to give these artists called wrestlers their tools back to present stories. Yeah. We need color back. We need chair shots that, protectable chair shots to the head, but chair shots to the head. We need these things back because those are the memories that we have of the wars and stuff. Randy Orton was made such a legend by his, hardcore matches and stuff like that he had with Mick Foley and all those types of things. Those matches, Triple H versus Mick Foley, all those things, they were wars that we watched and we respected these guys. They were warriors. Now you see all these high spots and flips and jumps and all this stuff, and it's like it's watered down. It's an acrobat show now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty wild stuff, like that you see. I heard that SmackDown might actually go to 3 hours, because I guess they're the ones staying on USA. They were saying that SmackDown might go to 3 hours.
And they might this has been talked about a lot, and I don't know how much credibility is to this rumor, but they may bring back the fist entrance, which I've always been a fan of doing.
I did see that too.
Do you know whose fist that is, that it was the mold made of? Trivia question real quick.
Ooh, whose fist at that time? The Rock?
The Big Show.
The Big Show. It does look like
that. That was made after his fist.
Yeah, okay. The Big Show.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool if they brought it back.
Absolutely.
I love the nostalgia. Jarek says, bring back the Papa Roach music opening that they used to use for an edgier Raw on Netflix. Yep. Less backstage moments, more action and in-ring promos, and they'll be fine. I did hear that the WWE did a new trademark for ECW. Does that mean Netflix will get a true hardcore show? Yeah, we did a show on that about. What did we do that? We did about 4 or 5 months ago. We did a show on that or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Big Slow. Yeah.
The Big
Slow. Raw this week had the moment of the week. And I did not watch the whole show because I was very much enjoying watching Brock Purdy dice up Aaron Rodgers. So sorry to the Green Bay fans, but my dude Purdy Mania, just the man.
Is Aaron Rodgers still playing for the Packers?
No, the Jets. I'm sorry.
The Jets. I was going to say, I watched that game too.
Yeah, excuse me, the Jets. Well, Jordan Love got knocked out for them. Man, I was watching Purdy. So Jeremy, we were talking to the group chat, and Jeremy, I said, just let me know when Brett's coming on. So I knew they were going to try to do something with Sami Zayn.
It's pretty damn funny.
So I know they're going to do something with Sami Zayn, and I'm like, Brett's talking about the Canadian heroes and how he always strived to be that, and of course I was like, Gunther's going to come out. Gunther comes out. Gunther was really on point tonight. His delivery tonight was fantastic.
What's funny is when we were texting earlier that day, when I was at work, I was like, sending funny ass quotes of Bret Hart saying, "Fuck Goldberg, Bret Hart probably." I just knew and felt something was gonna happen, and it fucking did, dude.
I loved it, dude.
Yeah.
I absolutely just fucking loved it. I thought it was just great. So Gunther comes out and is doing his shtick, and let's give respect to Bret, one of the greatest all time ever,
My
and he's
second time hero.
Yeah,
My
my
hero.
number 2 all time favorite wrestler. And I'm like, is he gonna go there? I was thinking in my head, is he gonna go there? I was like, come on.
Did.
I said, fucking do this, please. And he paused for about 10 seconds, and all the Bret Hart fans are thinking this, because we're Bret Hart fans on this show.
Oh,
we
yeah,
love him.
absolutely.
He's a whiny baby, but we love him.
I don't even think he's a whiny baby. I think he's got a lot of great points.
He does, but he whines a lot too.
Yeah.
So he is. I love Bret though, and I posted this link for tonight's show up in all the Bret Hart groups. So I hope people are watching this from the Bret Hart group, because we love Bret. But man, Gunther went savage and says, well, my all-time favorite wrestler is none other than Bill Goldberg. And when he did that, man, it was
I popped.
Yeah. I was like, legend. Legend.
Yeah. That just took him up a level.
Yeah. I thought Goldberg, him doing the Goldberg thing was a good potential. I thought maybe HBK, maybe.
Well, what's funny is years prior to that, CM Punk did a similar promo, and then Bret ended up punching him in the mouth. Do you remember that?
I don't actually.
Yeah. He did a similar promo. So I can't remember what was said. I just remember the moment of CM Punk doing the same thing. He was the world heavyweight champion, came out. Bret was out there. Same idea. Yeah. And they basically pretty much copied that promo.
I was thinking he was going to do it, and I was like, nah, he's not. He's going to go HBK. He'll say Shawn
That was epic, dude.
Yeah.
That was epic.
I thought he'd go the secondary route with Shawn Michaels, probably.
He went for the kill.
He went for the kill, bro. He did. Bret's look on his face was hilarious.
Do you think Bret knew that was what was going to be said?
No.
I don't either.
No, not at all. Not at all. For all the shit that Bret Hart has talked through the years.
Especially about Triple H.
Yeah.
Not a creative bone in his body. Yeah.
Dude, that was a receipt.
Yeah.
And it was a good receipt, too. And then they showed that backstage afterwards when Triple H goes up to him. Tell me that shit wasn't intentional.
That shit was hilarious, dude.
It was great. God bless Gunther, man. That was the moment of the year for me in wrestling when he did that. As an old school wrestling fan, and just
knowing the history of it and everything like that, it just makes you laugh.
Always loving Bret, because we've always been big fans of Bret here on the show. I mean, how many watch-alongs have we done to Bret Hart through the years?
And it's tragic what happened to him with his career and stuff. But you know what? Shit's still fucking funny when you can find comedic relief in a bad situation. It's a good thing.
Yeah, what a kick in the head to mention Goldberg to Bret Hart. Yeah, he really did.
That's a good one, Sean.
Think we get a WCW show of some kind next September, with it being the 30th anniversary of Nitro. I just don't see them doing it, man.
I don't want a week after week WCW show, because there's no one to tie to it. There's nobody to put in the place of giving it the WCW feel. My opinion is, if you do a one-off, do a Starrcade, something like that,
Yep. I don't see him doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want Halloween Havoc to be a regular.
I could do one of those as like a pay-per-view, Bring it back as a big pay-per-view for WWE. Yeah. Give one or two of them. Give them a Starrcade.
I just think it's funny that after all these years, they're still putting digs in at WWE or, against WCW by naming the NXT pay-per-views after WCW ones,
Yeah. Dude, they've been sticking it up their ass since they bought it from them.
Yep.
And they will forever.
They will forever.
They will forever. Scott, we'll get back to Bad Blood at the end, buddy. We'll talk about the Rhea and Liv stuff and everything else going on there. Derek said, I thought Gunther would say HBK, but Goldberg was better. It sure was.
Way better. Way better, Derek.
Rewind says it was hilarious. It sure was, man. Jason says, what's up, my dudes? What's up, Jason? Good to see you, my friend. Do a Hog Wild pay-per-view. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago. I mean, not a big fan of it, but it would be funny. I wouldn't be opposed to it if they did it.
Well, we both have rode motorcycles and stuff like that. It's a cool idea, and it draws a lot of attention and money if you go to Sturgis and stuff like that, in my opinion. WCW didn't really execute it that well back in the day, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a nightmare with some of the aesthetics to the show, the things that would go on. So
there was one moment in particular that I think of, which was the Medusa.
Oh,
where they tore up the motorcycles. That shit was ridiculous.
Yeah, the one with Sonny Ono.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they did. Unfortunately,
he comes out with a Honda crotch rocket at Sturgis. I'm like, wow.
And then they had the very racist bikers there calling the Harlem Heat awful names.
Oh,
you know,
it was bad.
Bad situation all around there. Just definitely didn't fit. Jason, we just talked about that in the beginning. Yeah, man, for sure. Some people are definitely going to be losing some mic time. Will definitely lead to some roster cuts. And I think
especially if The Rock comes back, man, and he's got like 20-minute mic time again. Like, yeah, it's going to be bad.
Jeremy says, I think of a tribute show on Netflix. Let guys from WCW speak like they do at the Hall of Fame. I mean, I'd love to see them do another documentary on them, but I've seen so much of WCW through the years.
They've done hundreds of hours of it.
I mean, there's so much we've seen from it throughout time with WCW. Get rid of all these secondary PLEs that have no long-term value, like Crown Jewel, Bash in Berlin. Give us Halloween Havoc, Starrcade, Great American Bash.
I agree with that, 100%.
Unfortunately, they're never going to get rid of the Crown Jewels as long as the Saudis are going to be paying all that blood money.
Yeah,
like they're going to,
that's it's exactly what it is. It's blood money.
It's blood money all day long. I'm not fucking pulling any punches on that. Like I'm not saying I blame them for it. It's a lot of money.
And I think that's why their PLE there goes so terribly year after year after year.
Yeah,
I mean, The Undertaker versus Goldberg.
Yeah, it's hot garbage.
Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Kane, and Triple H. Hot garbage.
Doesn't work.
AJ Styles versus The Undertaker in a 2-second squash. Hot garbage.
Yeah. But if they're paying them like $50 million a show or some shit like they're paying them, I don't blame them for doing it. Take that blood money, run with it if you got to, I guess. $50 million is a lot of bread, man.
Everybody's got a price.
Indeed. I'm taking $50 million if somebody's offering it. I'm going way cheaper than that. I'm a cheap date. So I'm a cheap date. Unforgiven, popular one. Yeah. We were talking about this. This is, I think, about last week's topic, right?
Yep. Armageddon, Judgment Day. Those would all be good ones.
WCW was a shit show. They had no idea what they were doing. That's definite.
In the 2000s, absolutely.
Sturgis is a good time if you've never been there. I highly suggested. Jude, I'd say it surprised me that you went there, but it doesn't.
It doesn't, dude. I looked at your profile on Facebook, Jude, and I got to say, man, you've definitely been around the block, brother.
He's a man's man. We say it every week. He's a man's man. And he just confirmed it even more. He went to fucking Sturgis, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I bet you it is a fucking real good time.
Yeah.
War Games. Always love War Games.
Love
War Games. Main event for Crown Jewel. Ric Flair versus Dory Funk.
Jesus. Please, no. No.
Dory just wrestled at, like 84 or something?
Something like that.
Yeah. Can we call the Saudi Arabia show Armageddon, or is that in poor taste? LOL. I actually like more of the idea of calling it the Great American Bash, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So
you call it the Big Bang, but that's probably. Sorry. I'm horrible.
Nah.
Military humor.
Yeah. We've said way worse shit that we can't say on here. Only if it's in an exploding ring match for Flair and Funk. They would do it for the right price. I know Flair would.
Dude, we're going way overboard on this explosion.
Yeah. Dude, Flair would do it for a bottle of fucking Grey Goose, man.
You would just hope that the right detonator got pushed in the I'm sorry.
Oh. The Great Saudi Bash.
Oh, Jesus.
We're renaming some of the shows here.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Oh, I love it.
We're going to get kicked off the air, dude.
Nah, we're not. We're not going that bad. We're not going that bad. Well, we'll talk about Bad Blood. We'll talk about the AEW show in overtime. But let's look at the topic for tonight. Pro wrestling. Is it hotter now, or was it hotter before? That's a hard question. I've heard it on a lot of podcasts lately. I've been in the car a lot for work, so it means I usually get more time to listen to stuff. And a lot of people brought this topic up, and it's not so black and white to me. It's interesting to hear the different perspectives from the different, generations of promoters, talents, and, smart people in the business now. I heard all the way from Bischoff to Conrad to Jeff Jarrett talk about it recently, Pritchard, all these guys that are on the Conrad network, and you hear all their perspectives, and they're all a little bit different and unique, which is really interesting to see on this. Mm-hmm. And I always would think that pro wrestling was hotter back in the day, but then if you look at today and where they're at, not just financially, but on all the platforms that have been developed globally, man, it's a real hard question, to ask. And wrestling fans are going to passionately agree and disagree on a subject like this. That's why I thought it was a good show topic. So we want to hear you guys' thoughts. Put them in the chat. Let us know what you think. But I want to hear what do you think? Hotter now or hotter before?
So I've been thinking about this all day. It's been a topic on my mind, and it was a really good one that you came up with. And it's hard to give an answer, right? Because passionately, we want to say that back in the day, in our heyday, when we watched it passionately and religiously, that was the best time. Those were the golden years, and everybody's going to say that from the time of Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania when he ran wild, to Austin 316 era, to WCW, to all these other things. But me personally, if you look at the grand scheme of things, you got to look at today's financially, it's a business. So you have to take that into account. They're making money hand over fist in profit every single year. It's based off, in my opinion, yesteryear is a big reason of that, though. People are always constantly watching the old content, always talking about the old content. Podcast after podcast is off of all the old stuff. So you can't really ignore the effect of that time frame compared to now. In my opinion, the memories, the long-lasting memories, the long-lasting legendary moments are more fruitful, in the 90s. That was the time that everything we talk about on a regular basis came from. The ECW moments, the WWF Attitude moments, the WCW Nitro, all these things. That's what we cover on a majority basis. I mean, when we're talking about wrestling, those are the years that are talked about the most. I challenge anybody out there to go and sit there and tell me match after match after match that they remember from the times that we were talking about with the celebrity guest appearances and stuff like that. Tell me one match that you remember from those shows. Because I can tell you matches from Monday Night Raw from 98, 99, 2000, I can tell you things from that. Now you can't do that. So financially, yes, it's the biggest they've ever been. Had this technology that they have now been available back then, though, could it have been bigger back then if they had those tools? I think so. I do. I think that the memories, the stuff that was created back then was more creative and original than it is now. You're seeing a lot of the promo with Gunther, perfect example. Go watch the CM Punk promo and tell me that's not the same promo with Bret. It is, to a T. They're regurgitating shit constantly. They're not as creative anymore as they used to be.
So you're going with before.
I'm going with before. Memory wise, I'm going financially now. But that's not a fair statement to talk about when you're saying financially, because you wouldn't be this big conglomerate if you didn't have the before.
So Scott Jenkins says, love it back in the day. Jude
Absolutely.
says, I believe that wrestling was hotter back in the day solely because of the IWC era. IWC makes it less shock and awe and more I know what is coming.
I think the internet has killed wrestling in a big way.
Memories over moments. Yep. I'm going to hit all these points here in just a second. Derek says, imagine if social media was what it was today,
exactly
back in the Attitude era.
Yeah.
The guys of yesteryear come back today and get Star Power Pops, Rocket Media 40, Austin. Yep.
Tell me this, and before you get into yours, tell me this. The Rock versus Austin alone, you could hang your hat on this question. I mean that was, they talk about The Undertaker and Kane being the greatest story ever told in wrestling. I'm sorry. The Rock versus Austin printed fucking money on several different occasions. That's probably was the longest storyline that kept everybody attached and watching. I mean, people that didn't even watch wrestling, they heard
Mr.
Austin
McMahon
Rock.
too.
Mr. McMahon too, but Mr. McMahon was utilized in this storyline as well, with the corporation and stuff like that.
Yep.
But The Rock versus Austin, when people heard that, whether you watched wrestling every week or whether you didn't, even my dad tuned into that, and my dad hated wrestling. He didn't hate it, but he knew it was fake and hokey and shit like that. But even he got drawn in to that storyline.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because my dad actually said this to me. It was Saturday or whatever, because my dad he's never been a wrestling fan, but he would catch the shows with me when I was younger and watch them, go with me, of course, when I was younger. And then, eventually he got lucky and didn't have to do it anymore, but he still remembered a lot of the angles and things. So he said he was scrolling through the TV. I think it was on Friday night, late at night. And he said he scrolled through and he saw on whatever TNT or TBS it was. He goes, I see this promotion. He's like, He called it like REW or something. I said AEW. He says, yeah. He says, do you watch that? And I said, yeah, we talk about it occasionally on the show. We'll check it out. And he goes, what fucking garbage that was, watching it. He's
the
like,
production level's not good.
Yeah, that's one of the things he was talking about. He was talking about the production levels on it. He's like, I've seen a couple of the shows, even the more modern ones, a little bit for WWE. He still calls it WWF. But he's like, their stuff is just leaps and bounds above it. He's like, but it doesn't make you it doesn't catch you. Like the characters, he was saying, didn't catch him. It didn't like it, because we had these moments back in the day. We had these larger than life characters. And I hear all the different debates from people, with your perspective that you just had with other people who say, oh, it's hotter now because of, how much money they're making too, like you mentioned. And money is an important factor to put in.
It's business.
It's business. Yeah, it is business. But what if you change the, numbers from back in the day to put in inflation now and see what it would equal out to?
Well, that and the tools are different, right?
Yeah,
they didn't have those things back then.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is and you guys mentioned social media too. What would have happened if they had social media for that stuff back at that point?
What if they had the WWE Network back then?
Yeah,
I mean,
technology has been a curse, and it's been an amazing thing for them to generate more revenue streams, turn this into $1 billion dream that they, $1 billion reality,
multi-billion-dollar dream.
Sold for what, like $9 billion or something like that to TKO. I mean, come on. Here was a company that was nearly out of business in the 90s. And
what's funny is the parallels between WWE and UFC. They both were damn near out of business in the 90s. And then here they are full circle, paired up under the umbrella of TKO.
Yeah. I mean, you guys are making great points here in the chat. So Rewind says, F no. In my day, we had NWO.
Dude, he said Alex Wright, bro. He just did it again.
It gets better, but it's not there. But I'm biased. I grew up watching the Attitude Era. I had to put that one on. I've been waiting to put that one on a Papia. Internet killed kayfabe. Sean says 100%. Austin all day over Rock. Hell yeah. Love Austin.
Absolutely.
Austin Rock Corporation, greatest story of all time.
Exactly.
Yep. Dude, back in the day, wherever you go, you would see NWO shirts or an Austin shirt. How often you see people in wrestling shirts in public now? Yeah. True. Ministry of Darkness. So going back to the topic, great comments from everybody, by the way. But going back to the topic is, I hear people now, and you'll hear the Meltzers, the shit stains of the wrestling community that are talking about it being hotter now than ever. Yeah, it might be hotter because of business and their reach. They're reaching tremendous amounts of people on a global perspective. But that's not fair to assess that now for what they have and how they reach people and what they didn't have back then. They reach people much more organically before because they actually know how to hook people in and bring them to come back and watch every week.
Well, it's not just that. Think of this, dude. Like the biggest storyline was Cody Rhodes and the Bloodline. Okay.
Yep.
They had that going. All of a sudden you have The Rock, which is the second piece of being the hottest storyline in the 90s, come in there. And he said, okay, guys, you guys want to get over? Let's see how far you want to get over. And he took over the whole narrative, the whole story like that, you know, and
showed you it can still be done.
It can still be done. And The Rock made, I'm just being honest. The Rock made wrestling cool again, by his final boss gimmick and everything he did it again. Yep. And he proved it. And it brought people like you and me going, damn, this is good stuff. Like, we need to watch this shit again.
We were invested hardcore in WrestleMania this year. Dude. I was on vacation overseas, and me and you were texting. I was flying home that day.
Yeah, you were waiting for Austin to come out and the glass to shatter.
Yeah, I'm in the airport, and I think I was in fucking Tokyo in the airport. Pissed off, I had to get on the plane because I had to risk the main event and catch it later. Yeah.
That's my point, though, dude.
That a guy from people again.
A guy from that era, who is a middle-aged man now. Looks great, looks phenomenal. None of us are ever going to look that way, in that time frame. Yeah. But the guy comes back and it's like he didn't miss a step, and he takes over the damn biggest story that's in wrestling. Mm-hmm. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about this question, whether it's more popular back then or now. I mean, look, dude, who are you going to put in the spot of a situation like Austin versus Rock in today's day and age and say that it's as big a moment or better than that?
The only one that could reach up to that involves The Rock and Roman Reigns.
It involves The Rock.
The Rock because yes, these guys are all big stars. I'm going to throw Roman Reigns in there as a mega star too, because I think Roman Reigns is a mega star. But that's one. Cody Rhodes, he teeters on it, but no, he teeters on it.
He scratches that.
No, he teeters on it for this reason right here. He has an incredible connection with the fans, and they love him, and they're very, very passionate about him. And his fan base is very big, and he knows how to draw that bait. Yeah, dude is marketable, man. He really is. Yeah. So Cody Rhodes is close to that. The level of interest in his storyline, if the bloodline isn't involved, is zero, though.
It's fallen off.
That's why he's not a megastar in a Roman Reigns. He teeters on it a little bit.
He can't keep them drawn in.
No, he can't, man. And it's been proven that he needs this.
And I hate to put this disrespect on his name like this.
He's an amazing star.
I see Cody Rhodes run, and I'm not taking anything away from this legend because you and I both know we're huge fans of him. I see Cody Rhodes' run be much similar to the likes of Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah.
Right? Phenomenal run, great champion, all that stuff. He was never going to be the guy, you know? And Cody Rhodes, to me, is not the guy.
You got to say, too, they put everything they can into it, and he has, too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But I think they've milked this story as much as they're going to get out of it. Once they do The Rock versus Cody, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I think Cody Rhodes is going to be mid-card. I really do.
I think he's going to have to go heel shortly after, man, just to make himself relevant again.
If he stays face, he's going to be mid-card.
Yeah.
He's got to go heel.
It's how many big stars, though, when you go back and you look at the prior days, the real people that drew people in, and when you're looking at how they had to draw people in, they had to use, these archaic methods that we think of now, radio, newspaper, ads, billboards. Yeah. And a lot of them didn't have the money, including Vince McMahon for many years. They had to give free, they had to go on TV and do it for free and produce that to make people want to come and buy their stuff. And I mean, these guys knew how to grind and do it, and they grabbed people in because they had mega stars everywhere. No matter when, I think Sean was talking about the territories earlier. The territories all had their own stars. You had JYD in some spot, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Vern Gagne. You could recycle your stars around for all these big territories. I could keep going down the list, but they knew how to do it
too each week. The ratings alone of people watching, and I'm not saying streaming services, right? We all gathered around at a certain time every week for Monday Night Raw on television.
There was no DVR.
There was no DVR.
Yeah,
that's passionate fans.
Shit, that is.
We didn't sit there and rewind or stop and walk away from the TV. We were glued to that freaking TV until Raw was over from start to finish.
Yep.
And some of us were flipping back and forth from Nitro to Raw.
Shit, I would be.
Or having two TVs in our room to watch both at the same time.
Yep. Diehards, if they couldn't make it, were videotaping it where you could press record from your screen and tape it to your videotape. I mean, that's
you think people are doing that now, man?
No. They can watch it on YouTube, and this is why I say this is why
they'll watch the highlights so that they can comment on it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's why these methods that are out there now are amazing because it allows us to do what we're doing right now, but it doesn't make it hotter because they got all these different methods. There's just there's no big money stars compared to what it was before. Right. And it's because the business to me is not hot enough to develop enough.
The business model changed too. I mean, Vince McMahon and all them, the board of directors, they didn't want to build stars bigger than the WWE anymore. They wanted the WWE to be the experience. They wanted the WWE to be the show, what everybody was invested into. They didn't want to build larger than life stars anymore that were going to leave them and go to Hollywood and things like that. And then they lose their investment.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of their business model. They changed it.
It's got to be fun to me too, Sean. And I know it's the same for you. If I'm going to invest any time in anything in my world outside of work, because we have to do that to make money to survive, anything else outside of it, I want it to be fun and I want to enjoy it. So you got to bring me into the show. So Sean brings a good point here. He says he watches less wrestling because it's not fun anymore. Shows you right there. People want to be in. They're not going to give you 2-3 hours of their time, or even for some of these pay-per-views, 5 or 6, if they're not enjoying it. Right. And that's how you get people to dwindle away slowly but surely to the point of where they're at now compared to what they were 25 years ago or 30 years ago.
Right.
It's that they're not making it as fun for people anymore.
And I also think even with the attitudes towards their championship belts was an important switch too. WWF back in the day, Attitude Era, your WWF champion had the best looking belt. They always looked like $1 million freaking bucks. Your tag team champions were freaking gold because they deserved to be gold. They were the best in the division. You know, things like that. And they were all different belts. WWE for a long while, after they did that Orange County Choppers design that they had the OCC make, they had every single belt from the women's champion to the WWE champion, Universal champion, whatever, be that same logo belt. I think it's an important fact that you need to have a diverse looking championship. You can't have the same belt for every champion and it feels special and important. I think they shot themselves in the foot with that.
Well, shit, they're not even defending sometimes some of these belts anymore on television. Yeah. WWE's guilty of this all the time.
Look at Logan Paul when he had it. What, did he defend it 3 times? The tag team division, they haven't defended it in 70 days, like maybe even longer now.
He's going to be my next topic in a minute because I want to talk about him actually right
dope.
after this.
Yeah, what a fucking dope he is.
Yeah, we'll talk about him right after this, though. Get to a couple of comments. Roman is the Hogan. Cody is the Macho Man. Good perspective, Derek. You know, I can see that. Jude says heel stable for Cody, new evolution or legacy. I think that's where they'll probably go with him doing something like that, Jude, for sure. It's a way to continue to keep interest in him. So do something different. Jeremy says there's a lot of similarities between then and now. Was in the 90s, was red hot to the point that WWE had to come up with a completely different blueprint. Fast forward to today's AEW is for everyone, but when they started up, they pushed WWE just like WCW did. But both AEW and WCW had wrong people leave the companies and became their downfalls. Rather, you like AEW, they pushed WWE in the beginning and they had better ratings when COVID hit. AEW still used fans. WWE was empty arenas in cinematic.
Yeah, for sure.
They tried to do a lot, that's for sure. It just didn't hit on always. But that happens sometimes. I'm not saying they couldn't get hot again either for them and for AEW.
Rewind had a lot of massages to give the next day, so he had to tape it.
Yeah. He says 9:15 p.m. on a Monday night, I had to go to bed. So I recorded it. When I woke up, I started watching. How many massages do you think he was giving out?
Man, I'm telling you. To go to bed at 9:15 at night every night, you got to be tired.
How many do you think he's doing in a day at that point?
I don't know. He's world renowned at his craft, from what I hear.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good. He's offered to.
You'll have to let me know when you wear your.
No, he's offered his services to you. I'm not involved in this, so I'm not involved in this right here. He's offered his masseuse services to you. Mm-hmm. So that's all for you, buddy. I'm staying out of that one. Sean says kayfabe kept wrestling interesting because they kept the storylines going. Today's wrestling is predictable. That's for sure, Sean. But
it is.
The internet has made it so kayfabe it's impossible, right?
Impossible. Not just that, but the attitude of kayfabe is gone. And not to mention the match types, dude. I mean, seriously, when you watch matches now, they're all about the flips, they're all about the twirls and everything else. There's no brawling anymore, you know, and that's what I miss about wrestling: the brawling, the actual looking like it's a fight, not an acrobat, match. You know, and that's kind of where I get the shit watered down with Will Ospreay, bruv. Like I don't like that shit,
bruv.
It hurts wrestling.
Does it hurt you, bruv?
It hurts me, bruv. It does. I think there's a nice touch of it that needs to be in wrestling, just not make it the whole fucking show.
All right, Logan Paul. Let's move on to Logan Paul to conclude the first hour tonight. Did you see his video that he put up this afternoon?
I seen the original one with Kevin Nash, and I seen the response from Logan Paul.
Yeah. All right, so let's preface this if you guys haven't seen it or heard about this. So Logan has a podcast. I didn't even know about it till a few weeks.
It's called Impulsive.
Yeah, Impulsive. He's awful.
He's had some good. I don't like the Paul brothers. He's had some good episodes, but the guests are what have made those episodes good, not him.
I tried, man. Like I said, just a few weeks back is when I discovered that he had a show, and I listened to some of the episodes. I thought
the one with The Undertaker was really good.
All right, well maybe I'll have to go back, maybe listen to a few. I just don't like the guy, so I really don't want to listen to him.
You know how much I hate that man.
Yeah,
but I got to give him his flowers for.
Oh, absolutely, dude's a hustler.
The Undertaker episode was great. I mean,
dude's a hustler. I give him all the credit in the world for that. So he had Hogan on. Got to say this too. Hogan's my all-time GOAT. He's my hero. This guy needs to stop fucking doing interviews because every time he does, he puts his foot in his mouth.
Hogan?
Yeah. Every time. This time he was talking about Chris Benoit in this one. Just stupid. This guy has zero filter. I love him. He's my all-time GOAT. I get it. He needs to stay away. This guy can't afford another fucking controversy scheme. Real American beer is taking off. He needs that brand. we're gonna drink some soon too.
We're gonna drink some soon.
Yeah, but he's got Hogan on. So this is how it all started, because Logan apparently didn't know what a work and a shoot was, and Hogan didn't believe that he really didn't know that. And I legit think that he didn't know what it was. What do you think?
I'm going to put it like this. I think Logan Paul, dude, I think he knows that it's his time in combat sports and boxing is over.
Yeah.
And this is kind of his fallback thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as invested in it as everybody seems to think.
Mm-hmm.
But to sit there and act like you don't know the difference between a shoot and a performance, which is what your fucking job is a joke. You know, if you're in the sport of professional wrestling and you're learning from legends like Shawn Michaels, they're going to show you the ropes and explain the differences in these things. But
do you really think he didn't know what a work and a shoot was?
I truly believe that he did know. I think, you know,
you think he did know?
Yes, because that's the Paul's business model. And he's working everybody while doing these interviews now. He's creating this heel gimmick. It's their business model that they do. It's what Jake Paul does in every single thing he fucking does. You know, and it's genius in a way because you just want to see these motherfuckers get smashed, right? Like I want to tune in and see Logan Paul get his ass beat now on WWE. I really do. I love when the Prime stuff gets smashed because I hate the damn drink. I hate him. You know, it's actually
how you feel.
You know, beat the damn the mascot up, all of it. Stomp that bottle out. You know, Logan Paul. I think he's doing this as a business scheme and making himself more of a heel. To sit there and say that you have learned from the likes of HBK, and you go on air and say you act like you don't know who fucking Kevin Nash is. Come on, dude. Come on. You haven't studied film. You haven't watched old WrestleManias and stuff. Come on. You don't know who Kevin Nash is? Really? Do you really believe that, John, that he didn't know Kevin Nash?
I don't know, bro. The dude doesn't seem like the sharpest fucking tool in the shed. I know he's smart with how to market himself and make people hate him and all that stuff. I don't know.
Just
it's
listen
so
to
hard
what he
for
was
me.
talking. You know, in the interview, he was talking as a heel. He was cutting a promo.
I listened to it, and he got really embarrassed at one point when Hogan and his friend who does the show.
No. I'm saying when he was talking about Kevin Nash, he was cutting a promo.
Yeah,
it was a wrestling promo.
He knows who Kevin Nash is. Come on,
that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my whole point. It's an act. You know,
I don't think he knew what a work and a shoot was though. Listening to the interview, he gets super embarrassed in the episode when they call him out on it. Hogan was like in disbelief that he didn't know it, and they gave the one thing I liked about Hogan's interviews is he'll bust their balls too. He doesn't. Yeah. He's not doing it maliciously. He looks like a fun guy, to be honest with you. Like he's a chop buster. So he was in kind of disbelief over it and couldn't believe that he didn't know what a work and a shoot was. And Logan then got all defensive, and then his co-host, he got kind of angry at him, and then his co-host tried to cover it up for him, like, oh, he's just joking, you know, he really knows, and blah blah blah. But that video to Kevin Nash, if he really did that,
what cracks me up is Kevin Nash brought up that Logan Paul's making $5 million and this and that.
Kevin wasn't being mean about it.
Kevin Nash is probably making that off the NWO merch sales every year alone, dude. Like, so I'm sitting there like, what the fuck does he care about Logan fucking Paul?
He was saying, for him making that money and not knowing it, when Nash kind of ripped on him on the show a little bit, he wasn't doing it maliciously. He was just doing it as Kevin Nash does it, and he's just messing with him. And then when he talks about the money he makes and stuff like that, and he's saying "F you" and you don't know this, blah blah blah, like. He's just having fun with it too. Mm-hmm. He's not being serious when he's telling this guy, because I remember a few weeks ago, he actually said one of the things he was excited about at SummerSlam on his show was he was going to get to meet Logan Paul.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Logan Paul. I know you're not out there listening to our podcast or anything. We're just small time, but I'll tell you this. Kevin Nash comes from the mean streets of Michigan. You come from the mean streets of Disney. So I would be careful what you wish for. That he may be an old troubadour, but he will still whoop your little ass. I'll tell you that.
Rewind says, yeah, Richie, a Miss Taz. It sounds like fighting suplexes, brawling. It sounds like Richie, Miss Taz.
I do miss Taz. I do.
I really hope that Logan video was a shoot. If it wasn't, Nash is going to find a way to kill his career.
That's what I'm saying, man. Don't piss off Kevin Nash.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it, man. Have a good night, buddy. We'll see you again on the next go around, bro. If this was real and he did that, dude, Nash, we'll talk about it on next week's show. They'll make a whole show out of it. And it'll be hilarious. Like he gives zero shits what anybody thinks about. The guy
prints money still to this day, and he sits on his ass and does autograph signings. Like
we were outside. I was shooting the shit. I always listen. I always say his click list is one of my favorite listens every week. That's why I can tell you what he said on the show and remember it because I love his show. Listening to it, I was listening to it outside. I think for that part, for the last half of it. My son does not like wrestling, and he was listening to the conversation that Oliver and Nash have, and he was laughing with it. He's like, "This guy's hilarious. Who is he?" I said, "He's a wrestler." He's like, "He's a wrestler?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Really?" And he's like, "This show's like really interesting, though. He's funny, It's a great conversation." That's what I love about Nash. He doesn't give a shit.
Nash is the cool guy in the room.
He really is, man.
That guy, he's a trendsetter. Like Kevin Nash. The Too Sweet stuff, that all came from them. It's still to this day is one of the most popular things in wrestling.
Derek's got a great one here. Logan Paul is an insufferable douchebag for a shoot, but got to give him credit because he's a natural in-ring performer. He sure is.
Natural performer, that's great and fine. But, again, I think personally that Logan Paul is a cheap ripoff of The Miz. He
dresses and looks like him in a lot of ways.
He's almost an exact reprint of him, just a little bit buffer and a little bit taller.
I think they're friends in real life too, right?
Yeah.
Well, there it is. Jude says WWE is just a paycheck to him, nothing more.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he's making bank, and God bless him. He's great in the ring. He really does. He gets great heel heat. I think he'll be a champion in a few years, to be honest with you.
God, I hope not. Don't say that.
They're going to run with it eventually, bro.
I'll tell you this: when Jake Paul is put to rest in the combat sports world, and it will come. His time will come. I bet you we will see the Paul brothers both be in WWE.
Oh, absolutely. Jake, 100%.
I guarantee it. It will happen.
I thought they were going to do something with Jake at SummerSlam. I thought they were going to bring him in at SummerSlam to help Logan or something like that.
I think they'll be a tag team at some point.
They missed the opportunity. I think we talked about it here on the show with that. They should have brought, especially with the Netflix relationship and what's going on on Netflix here in a couple months. They should have brought Logan, should have had Jake help him out in the match. And then they should have pulled a swerve and a surprise and brought Mike Tyson in to come out.
They should have had him in there. Yeah. As a guest, I think he should have been the guest referee and then 100
came out, surprised everybody, did something with it. It would have been perfect. Would have set it up. Great. Yeah. But either way. Yeah, Derek says, is Logan not aware that Nash is best friends with his bosses, Triple H?
That's what I've been saying. I'm like, how are you going to sit there and say you don't know him? Like,
I can't wait to hear his response. I really can't wait to hear his response. He's not going to sell it either.
Yeah, but you know what? Nash is so cool that he may not even respond.
He will. He'll have a joke about it. He buried, not buried, but he had said some stuff about LA Knight, and LA Knight didn't like it a little bit and got butthurt about it last year.
The level of ignorance and the fact that Logan Paul said that he's better than Kevin Nash, has learned it better than Kevin Nash, faster than Kevin Nash, has a bigger impact than Kevin Nash. Are you fucking joking? Are you high, bro? Like, Kevin Nash will be in the history books forever as one of the greatest big men of all time.
Probably the most influential moment in wrestling history in 1996, and Kevin
Nash.
He's
the reason that you have guaranteed contracts. So you're welcome.
Yeah,
him and Scott Hall. You wouldn't be getting that guaranteed $5 million a year, bud.
I think that if this was real shots he was firing or not, or if it was just something for gag, either way, I think they're going to run into each other at a show one day. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Kevin Nash isn't going to go to fight him or anything like that. He's not going to be a dick to him, but I guarantee you Kevin Nash is going to go up to him. So that's why I mentioned him with LA Knight. So LA Knight got kind of butthurt about some of the stuff he had said. I think it was like last year. Yeah. Kevin didn't bury him bad or anything like that. It was just, he made some critiques on things and, didn't put him over, didn't see what the appeal was, said, hey, I get some people like it, but just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And LA Knight had seen it, took offense to it, kind of got personal with them a little bit. Kevin laughed it off. Kevin tells the story when he was at SummerSlam, who he met for the first time. He met LA Knight, went up to him, shook his hand, and sat down and ate with him. You know, LA Knight, some of the shit he was saying, if he was hurt, he wasn't saying it to Big Kev's face at that point. Well, and I guarantee you, Logan Paul, Kev conversation will come at some point.
Well, and Kevin Nash was just saying, like, hey, you know, he's getting $5 million right off the bat. Like, you know, why is this guy getting $5 million? What about the boys, you know, and how does he look to the boys getting that kind of pay? Yep. You know what I'm saying? So that was his point. And then this dude just took it to a different level, you know.
Don't mess with Big Sexy. He beat up someone on MTV for throwing rocks and heckling with him. You ever seen that clip from the spring break?
He's a bad dude, man. He came from Detroit. He, you know, not a nice neighborhood. Not a nice neighborhood out there.
Yep. Jude says Nash will set up a meeting for Logan with his best friend Scott Hall. Yeah,
God rest the bad guy, man.
Yeah, Kevin's the bad dude, man. I wouldn't want to mess with him on any day of the week, even at 65 years old with him.
I would give anything for Scott Hall and Kevin Nash to do a podcast on that topic.
Awesome.
Dude, that would have been great.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, what's going on, Paul Simpson? How's it going, my friend? Hope all's well with you as well. He said Nash is the man. Nash he's just a cool guy, man. I can't wait to hear a little bit more what he thinks from Logan Paul's comments maybe next week, or maybe, like you said, he no-sells them. We'll see. But if you guys are watching on Facebook with us, stick around. We're going to take our 10-minute break that we always take in between shows. We're going to go into overtime.
We gotta get the punishment bowl on.
We're gonna get him on tonight. Rewind, be prepared, because you're gonna definitely be calling in. You're getting your segment tonight. We want to hear some stuff. And if you guys are listening to this on radio, make sure you come back next week and every Saturday and Sunday night at 10 p.m. on WDJY, and join us on Tuesdays on our Facebook and YouTube, Wrestling with Reality, so you can come out live and have a good time with us and the great crew that we got here each and every week. So for Richie, I'm John. For our radio listeners, we'll see you on the next episode of Wrestling with Reality. All right, good folks, on to the second part. We'll have some fun with it tonight. We'll do overtime. I'll put a link out when we get back. So if anybody wants to call in, anything you want to talk about, any topics you want to talk about, and then we'll preview next week's episode at the end. But looking forward. Rewind City's got a good one for you, Richie.
Oh boy.
Oh, there we go.
I'm
excited. It's coming, bro. It's going to be a good one. All right, guys, about 10 minutes. We'll see you back here. We'll be back in 10. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you on the other end. All right, everybody, welcome back for overtime. Richie, did you enjoy your quick break?
I had to pee so bad. I appreciate the break. Yes. When you drink enough of these, man, it'll go right through you.
Sean, if you want that for your music entrance, by all means, man, take it. It's royalty free on YouTube. That's why I use it. So I put the link up in Facebook and on YouTube. So if anybody wants to jump on with us, talk about anything you want, you're more than welcome to. If you don't, no worries. Just type in what you want to talk about and we'll discuss it. So, Richie, did you watch All Out this weekend?
I did watch All Out this weekend, a good portion of it.
All right. I did too. I actually did. I got to say this. I give them credit. The matches, for the most part, were really, really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the overall match quality of this card. It was fantastic, man. That Willow Nightingale and Statlander match was really good between those two.
She's come so far in the time that AEW has started till now in the women's division. Statlander's a good talent, man.
She really is. I didn't like her.
We used to bash her because of her gimmick and shit like that, but she's come a long way.
I would agree, man. I never liked her gimmick before. I see a star in her. She's a beautiful woman too, and she's got a great aura to her. Willow Nightingale, I've never been a big fan of her, but she was really over with the crowd in this match, and she put on one hell of a one hell of a match too. These ones just, man,
it's been refreshing because you had Toni Storm versus Paige in that awful match. I mean, they've just stunk it up over there, so it was refreshing to see a good women's match.
Who do we got here? We got Big Dog. Who's Big Dog here?
Dog. Welcome to the show, buddy.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
What's going on, buddy?
Hanging out with you guys.
It's the big Georgia dog, Mr. Jeremy's here.
What's going on, fellas?
Yeah.
Jeremy, Jeremy went in the dark on us. He went all Lord Vader on us.
You don't got to go Darth Vader on us, man. You're a pretty individual. I'm sure Rewind would rub you down.
I went outside long enough to walk my dog.
There you go, Bulldogs for you, Jeremy. Sean said, and Sean was not a fan of All Out. He said it was boring. All right. Interesting.
To each his own.
Sean, tell me why you didn't like it. I want to hear it. Type it in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts why you didn't like the show. I was really impressed. So, for the most part with the show, and then they had to go completely stupid with me, and the Bryan Danielson and Moxley, ending. What the fuck was that, man? What made them think this was a good idea, guys? Like,
I have no idea.
You suffocate a guy with a plastic bag and try to murder him on your pay-per-view?
Yeah, I don't think that's very smart when, they have the don't try this at home shit for kids, and then you're suffocating someone with a bag and injecting people with needles in their mouth. It's just horrible.
Yeah, then the next match, Swerve and Hangman. I mean, these guys were beating the snot out of each other. It was interesting. It was a good match, very entertaining. Then he pulls out a syringe and sticks it right through his mouth.
Jams it in his mouth. Like, what the hell is that? What was the purpose of that even?
A friggin' syringe.
Mm-hmm.
In a time frame where we have the drug epidemic that's going on right now.
Yeah, and how tasteful was that?
Yeah, and then you're going to bring in a syringe.
I'm all for freedom of speech and putting, stuff on there and shit. But, I mean, this was just like, come on, man.
And then
that's just as bad as the cattle prod gun that they used on Goldberg back in the day.
Yeah, well, and then to end it, they do an unprotected chair shot that completely gets destroyed as they rail this guy right in his skull.
Yeah.
What AEW? We're the best wrestle. Are you serious?
Where the big boys play.
What is going on here? I mean, what do you think, Jeremy? Were you a fan of All Out? What did you think of this book in here?
I liked it up till the whole bag giving. I feel like it was like you're watching the Jeffrey Dahmer show on Netflix. But
Mox always tries to go outside the box with stuff like that, though.
Yeah, I mean he does, but I think the syringe thing was just flat out stupid.
Yeah.
Now, I did think it was kind of cool that the spots that they done with the center block, they look very painful, and they sold it wonderful.
Yeah, the cinder block spot. Did you see the gashes down his back, Jeremy?
Yes.
Right?
Like when he power bombed him onto the center block, that was brutal.
I mean, he didn't just like suplex him or something. He did a vertebraker to the guy on the thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trusting somebody that much with a move that's that dangerous, and then you're
That
doing it
could-
on top of a cinder block?
Because
That could end your career.
Yeah, if you don't have control, you're paralyzed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just insane. Sean says the bank over Danielson's head was taken back when Funk did it to Flair. Yeah, not a good idea in today's day and age to be doing that type of shit,
No,
man.
no.
It just doesn't make any sense. And then what's with this faction with Moxley? Like, you have a potential to make this legendary, cool faction, and then all you do is get rid of Danielson and, you know, hold back Wheeler Yuta, and this big faction is now just going to be these guys and Marina Shafir. Wow,
Pretty silly.
I'm invested in this.
Yeah, they flubbed that one pretty
Oh,
good.
Come
I think,
on, man.
I was reading an article today.
Cesaro looked like Moxley's twin with the way they were dressed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then he no sells. Did you guys see Danielson no selling the European uppercut that he gave him?
I did.
Yeah,
What the hell?
they should have bet on it, dude.
Yeah.
I think this is eventually. I know we've beat it like a dead horse, but Shane McMahon's gonna have the involvement with this group down the road. Don't know when, but I think he's gonna be it's gonna be their version of the corporation, if you will.
Okay.
Probably.
I'll say this though. One of the members of it, Pac, man, this guy can go in the ring. That
Yes.
match with him and Osprey, I put over anybody that, whether I like Osprey as a performer or not. I'll put over anybody and be fair. This match was off the chain between those two.
I love Pac, man. I think he's one of the best heels in the business. He's got a great mean streak in him, and he can wrestle like nobody's business. So
And he
yeah.
I think
changes
he's
his,
one of the most underutilized talents in wrestling today.
and he changes his style according to who he's in a match with. Like
Yeah.
he could do the hot spots with Osprey. He can be a brawler. He can do the comedic stuff with Orange Cassidy.
Mhm.
He's got everything in the toolbox.
Yeah, and he's an asshole, and he looks like
absolutely.
an asshole.
Why
he
is
looks like a troll.
yeah. Why has this guy not gotten a title run by now? In my
He
opinion,
should. He should.
you could make him a really good marketable heel champion. I think.
Mhm.
But they only want to put bogus titles on him, like a cruiserweight title and like
Oh,
an
no
international title.
thanks.
He's above that.
Yeah, he is above that.
Sean says Moxley's faction is today's version of.
I don't
Ray
know if it's
Spencer.
that bad. That was
Hey,
Jude. There he is.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up,
What's
buddy?
up, man? What's going on? Rewind. We'll let you know in just a few minutes, buddy, when to come on. But the link's in there. Anytime you want to jump on, you're more than welcome to, and we can get to the segment shortly in just a
Brother,
little
you
bit.
look like you've been out in the sun. Got a little sun on you there,
Dude,
Jude.
you got a little vitamin D in you.
Oh yeah, he's looking a little orange.
Yeah, yeah. My wife's out of town, and she took my laptop with her, so I'm using my son's MacBook, and I can't get the StreamYard to work on it. So
Oh man.
Ah,
I had to jump on the phone. I really
Yeah,
do
well,
look
we're
like
glad
I
you're-
was just like
it's
in
the
Africa.
camera angle.
Yeah.
I look like I'm a fucking apple all the time on my face with my camera, and I'm really not. So
Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah.
It brings the beard, make it even cooler.
Mhm.
Sean says,
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
could
I
be
had to
cool.
trim it up here a little bit.
Orange
So,
Jude, and he's not freshly squeezed. He's freshly trim out from being ready to be out there getting that vitamin C in him, folks.
There you go. Vitamin D.
yeah.
Vitamin D. Excuse me. Hey, what's up, Rand?
Whoa.
Buddy.
That's for rewind.
Jude is now orange juice.
Orange Jude.
Yeah.
I
So,
love
Jude, me and you were chatting a little bit back and forth after the pay per view and stuff, and I know you had a ton of thoughts on it. Let's hear your thoughts on this show.
You know what? From beginning to end on the pay-per-view, it was a phenomenal show. The wrestling was really done really well. There was a lot of storytelling. Like I think Daniel Garcia, even though he lost the match, dude, he benefited from that match. And then you saw the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the bag, dude, the bag over Daniel Bryan's head. When that happened, I turned it off.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to watch it anymore. I was like, there was absolutely zero reason to do that.
Mhm.
Zero. You could have got the same reaction just with the BCC just beating the shit out of them. Beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Have them laying in the ring with blood and everything, and just end it there. You didn't need to put a bag over his head.
Mhm.
And then, you know, I was like, well, you know, I'm gonna tune it back in. I'm gonna watch the rest of it. So I decided to watch the rest of it. And man, like
Yeah.
I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, it can't get any worse than this. And then, like, I think I sent it to you, John. I was like,
Yeah.
Tony Khan was like, hold my water. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. My seltzer.
You get a hypodermic needle in his fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Why?
Just jamming it right through his gums in his mouth.
So stupid, dude.
Right. Like,
So
my
dumb.
thing is, why?
This
Why
is some
did you have
ECW
to
Nick
do
Gage shit.
that?
Like,
Well,
Oh
they
yeah,
done a pizza cutter
this
on
was
the show.
totally right. This was totally indie wrestling, but
Crap.
not like really
Yeah.
good indie wrestling.
yeah.
It was, you know, hey, this might be our last show, so let's go out
Let's
with
go all
a
out.
bang.
Literally.
You know, yeah,
Let's
you're gonna
go
go
all
all
out.
out. Yeah, you know,
Let's go all out.
like
yeah.
I said,
Go all out.
from top to bottom, the whole pay-per-view was done well.
Yeah, better than what they've been
But
doing.
man, you had those two spots, and like I said, I think they actually probably lost more people than they gained because of it.
Right.
Mhm.
And then if I was on that card and had a good match, I'd be pissed because people aren't talking about the matches.
No.
They're literally talking about the two most awful
Garbage spot.
and stupid spots that they could have done.
Well,
They were both.
I want to ask because Rewind was like
Richie, hold on one second. I got to say this. We forgot to mention one important part of last week, and of course, let's welcome to the show Rewind.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks.
Great to see you. We'll give you a proper introduction in just a little bit. Proper introduction because you will guaranteedly enjoy this one, I'm sure. But so hence we taped this on Tuesday. Let's not forget on Wednesday last week. Swerve Strickland's house was burnt to the ground as well on air. So, Adam Hangman Page committed arson on the air and burnt his fucking house down to start the week.
Well, I want to ask Rewind about these two spots because he was a ECW fan and stuff like that. Did you think that this was poorly chosen?
They were screaming, "This is murder."
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights.
Mm.
It wasn't in good taste at all.
Yeah. It's so bad. It's so bad.
They tried to kill him in the middle of the ring. And he put a wrench in his mouth and shot. What?
Yeah, right.
And what's sad is they're trying to save face now, and they're saying that they're putting out a statement tomorrow night saying that they don't condone this kind of action.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
God.
So here's
We're
my
the
thing
best
with it.
wrestlers. So that's where the best wrestlers.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with it is you suspended Britt Baker for having an argument backstage over MJF.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You suspended other people, like you suspended Jack Perry because he got into a little bit of a fight with CM Punk in the backstage area. What are you going to do to John Moxley and Hangman Adam Page now?
Yeah.
Hangman Adam Page, like, stuck a needle in a guy's mouth. Okay, maybe he gets a little bit of suspension. John Moxley tried to kill a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like,
Where do you go from here?
you know?
But Britt
Where
Baker
do
had a
you
verbal
go?
confrontation,
Right.
and she's on unpaid leave for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. John Moxley tries to kill a motherfucker, and he'll be on Dynamite on Wednesday.
Well, hey, you got to be honest though. The Wyatt Six, they murdered everybody on.
I was
TV.
just about to say the same thing. A
And
couple
had
months
peanut
ago,
butter.
there was
It
a
had
bullet in the
fucking
guy's
jelly.
head.
Yeah, they had strawberry jam all over everybody's face and shit.
Well,
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
Filming,
You know, it just-
filming 9mm. So
yeah.
Right. Right. Arn Anderson did that. Yeah, he's the king of that.
But
Yeah.
Brock
But-
Anderson.
My
but-
strawberry
stab
jam, but
Sid
my
and
Glock
Blake
don't.
Yeah.
Let's be honest though, WWE has some weird stuff back in the day too, like Kane sticking a battery to Shane McMahon's nuts.
Well,
And
fucking
that-
Triple H, fuck
Yeah.
the corpse.
Triple H
you know?
Yeah.
in a casket.
Fuck the corpse.
Vince getting in that limo and it blowing up.
Jesus.
Maybe this isn't as bad as we thought it was when we're going back and looking back at some of
Dude,
these angles. For
The
I mean,
Vince angle getting in a limo and it blowing up was as bad as it was because literally Benoit's shit was like the next night. And it was like, dude, what the
Horrible
fuck?
time.
Like,
the worst one in wrestling history. This could be a whole other show, like we could do one week.
dude,
But
this is a
the
good
number
topic.
one in wrestling history, stupid fucking move to do that was just insane. Had to have gone to ECW for a rewind when Raven he crucified and put Sandman. Was it Sandman?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
Sandman.
He
Sandman.
It was
crucified
Sandman.
Sandman on there. I know they did it again later, but they were the
It pissed Kurt
originators.
Angle off. They were
Yeah.
trying to sign Kurt Angle, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Fuck that."
Nope, he didn't sign for that.
Syringe
Yeah.
is pretty light compared to being crucified on a barbed wire crucifix in the middle of the ring.
Let's
Yeah,
not
I would
forget
say
Hulk
so.
Hogan. Hulk Hogan put the Rock in an ambulance and hit him with an 18-wheeler. Come on.
True.
That was a good moment, though. I love that. I really love that moment.
Jake the Snake had his Cobra bite Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah.
That made
Young
national
had a
news.
turkey baby,
Yeah, dude.
right? So like from Mark Henry.
Hey, yeah,
No, the
they
hand.
crapped-
The
They
hand.
crapped out a hand. Yeah,
Yeah, for the freaking hand. Man, they just shoot
Mae
themselves
Young's
in.
boobies on there too, man. That was a brutal one.
Good stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
They
this
just-
is a bit be an episode called "Cringiest Moments in Wrestling History."
That's
We-
probably
we-
gonna happen here real soon.
Dude, I think it's a good topic. It'd be a fun one too because there's so friggin' many of them.
yeah.
You know, there's
Oh,
so
God,
many.
yeah.
Getting his dick chopped off by fucking.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Or JR's colonoscopy.
JR was torched on screen by what was it, Mick Foley or Kane that torched JR on
Kane.
screen?
Kane.
Yeah. Burned him to death. You know, fucking burns him
Or
to death.
Paul Bearer getting buried in concrete.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was
Yep.
crazy.
Buried alive matches.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We could go down the list, man.
Maybe
Yeah,
AEW
there's
is
been-
not so bad.
Yeah. No, AEW is that bad. Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Just go watch their explosive match that they had with Moxley. That'll tell you everything.
Hey, Jude, though, real quick though,
Man.
the other guys talked about it. What's your honest opinion on the Will Ospreay Pac match?
I think they rushed it, wasted it.
Okay.
I think they rushed it too much. I think that is a match that deserves a better build than a week and a half.
I agree.
I think you're going to get Osprey, Ricochet, and Pac.
Hmm.
That would
be
be
an
phenomenal.
I think that'd be a phenomenal match. Here's the thing: it would be a phenomenal match if it doesn't turn into a spot fest.
I
Mhm.
agree.
It will.
100% it will.
So, but it will 100% turn into a spot fest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No denying that one.
So-
That's going to happen. I don't know where they're going to go from here, though, guys. It'll be interesting to see Dynamite tomorrow night, what they do, and see how they kind of play off of this. But Bad Blood is starting to kind of come together now. What are you guys' thoughts here? I'll go for the big dog, Jeremy, first, since it's going to be something he sees live. Fill us in on Bad Blood. What's going on right now for some matches?
Man, I'm like a kid on Christmas with this one.
All right.
So we officially got CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in Hell in a Cell. I figured this would happen
That's-
from the beginning, but man, it's gonna be crazy. They haven't put a stipulation on Liv versus Rhea yet, but I think it needs to be a Hell of a Cell or some kind of match. And then you got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor, and I hope and pray we get the Demon King for this match.
I do too.
That would
Yeah, I
that
agree.
would make the match. It doesn't need to have any stipulations. Put the Demon King out there because the Demon King, I think, has only lost one time on the main card, and that was to Edge at WrestleMania, I think. And it's just like an event in itself when we get to see the Demon King.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked about being able to see this live. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good card. Had they announced anything for Cody yet? Is he taking on Jacob Fatu or something at it?
No, they haven't added anything. He's got a steel cage match with Solo this Friday, so I don't see Cody doing a Hell in a Cell match 2 weeks later after having a cage match. They might. I don't know.
No, there's no way.
Nah, they're not going to do that.
Yeah, it'd be a regular match.
Maybe they leave him off of this card too to give him a break a little bit because they got a lot of star power that they're building up on this for
I
some
don't
good
know,
matches.
but it being his hometown and he's already doing the commercials for the pay per view. I think you're shooting yourself. I think they go a different route. Besides him having defended the title, maybe a tag match or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him go against Jacob Fatu yet.
No,
I think that's a bigger match, and I think
No.
it deserves a bigger build.
I think
I
maybe,
agree. Yeah.
I think you do maybe a different 6-man tag, have someone else involved besides KO, and Roman comes out at the end and helps again. Maybe Jimmy returns, something different. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see if they put Cody in a title 1-on-1 title match with somebody at this. But top to bottom though, man, I hope it's something great because. Dude, I've waited for this for like 4 months now. I bought tickets the day they went on sale, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I don't want to be disappointed.
Where's your seats at? Where you got good seats?
They're decent. I'm mid level. I'm off to the I'm across from where the announcers are, mid level.
Nice.
Which State Farm Arena does not have a bad seat in it. I sat there in the nosebleeds. The year the Edge won the Rumble for the first time when he went to face Jericho at the Mania in Arizona.
Nice.
But yeah, that Royal Rumble was amazing. So I'm looking forward to it.
You're lucky you're nearby Atlanta. You get good pay-per-views when you're nearby somewhere. Rewind's still never been to a live card. We gotta change.
We gotta get him there. We all gotta meet up and take him.
A pay-per-view show is amazing.
I've still never seen a pay-per-view show either. Jude, where do you go for yours? Where do you typically drive to when you go see the big cards?
So Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
We've had a couple bigger shows up here in State College as well, but mostly Pittsburgh. Philadelphia just scares the shit out of me.
I don't blame you.
Because my sister lives in Philadelphia, and I actually lost a nephew of mine to murder. He was murdered on the street in Philadelphia.
Man.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, sorry.
So, over drugs. That's basically gangs and
Usually
drugs.
what it is.
But it's not good there. So I try to avoid Philadelphia as much as I can. Pittsburgh's my go-to though. I love going to Pittsburgh. Love Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I just flew out of Philadelphia when I went to Costa Rica. What a shithole. You know? I mean, just every vibe about it. I agree with you, Jude. I avoid it at all costs because there's ways for me to drive to New York City and other places. You always got to go near Philadelphia. I avoid it like the plague. If there's an opportunity, if it costs me 20 more minutes, I'm avoiding Philly. Awful.
Here's the thing, like a lot of the sports teams, the people who are in the different sports teams, they actually live in King of Prussia.
Wow.
Yeah, right on the
Here,
Delaware
they don't even
border.
live in Philly.
It's on the Delaware border, right?
No, King of Prussia's on the west side of Philadelphia.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Port of Wilmington portion right near there.
Yeah, King of Prussia. Like if you go to King of Prussia, there's money in King of Prussia. If you ever have a chance, go to the King of Prussia Mall, and they have a whole section of the mall that I can't fucking afford. So
Now, do they have other venues in Pittsburgh besides where the Penguins play?
So you have Heinz Field. AEW did a couple shows at the Pitt, the college there, University of Pittsburgh. They've done some shows there. We have Stage AE, which does a lot of different shows. I'm actually going there in a month to go see Volbeat.
Nice, dude.
So yeah, they have a couple venues in Pittsburgh that you can go to. So
I think the Pittsburgh Pirates Stadium is one of the most underappreciated stadiums in professional baseball too. It's a friggin' beautiful stadium that they have.
top three in all of baseball. Top three in all of baseball.
It is gorgeous in there, and it blows my mind. I know the Pirates aren't typically good. that they don't get behind that base because as here's Sean. Sean's he looks like he's a Steelers fan too. So
There you go.
looks like he's a Steelers fan, but they got a passionate fan base, and I'm really surprised they don't invest more in them at certain points because I think they could do a lot more there.
It's the ownership. It's nutting.
Yeah. Well, I think we got to hear right from our buddy here. We didn't get it last week, guys. We did not get it last week because he was on a hot date, and then we had our YouTube problem last week. But we've been talking about it, and it's a new segment we're going to start throwing in every week or two, and it's going to be Rewind's Punishment.
Survive by web shoes.
It's awesome. That's epic.
For Christ's sake.
Fucking bad.
I like the whip at the end.
Was that a good job? Did I do a good job putting the video together?
Yeah,
You did a great job.
All right.
That's
I had
legendary.
fun with it. I had a lot of fun with it last week putting it together. It's like I got to make a fun little 15-second intro for this gentleman. So Rewind Punishment Bowl.
Okay.
Fill
So
us in. What's going on? What's
guess I'll
what's
talk
going on in
about the
dating world
last-
here?
Oh, sorry, John. What?
No, I was gonna say what's going on in the dating world. Fill us in.
Okay, so I guess I'll talk about the chick I just dated. Okay.
Oh boy.
Before we get started, I want to tell you I have experience in open relationships and I have experience in poly relationships. So I've
Holy
dated
shit.
alternative before. So keep that in mind about me. I have experience. A lot of people have.
Interesting.
So this chick keeps looking at my profile last week or 2 weeks ago. She doesn't have a face pic, so I'm not messaged her. She keeps looking at it, so I'm like, screw it. I'll shoot you a message.
Uh-huh.
Shot her a message. She read it, but didn't respond. She's out for a couple days. And Saturday rolls around. Still hasn't looked at it. I'm like, she keeps looking at my profile. So I'm like, she looks at it one more time. I'm gonna block her. That Saturday, you guys did the Bash in Berlin show review, and afterwards, I looked at my phone. She shot me a message back, and I wrote her like, "Hey, it sounds like your profile. You're looking for friends. So what brought you on here?" And she's like, "I'm married, but we were dating together. I want to date separately. I'm just looking for people to talk, not really meet up, trade stories, and learn more about the lifestyle." I'm like, cool, blah, blah, blah. We start talking for a little while. Talked to the next morning. She messaged me again Sunday morning. Same kind of thing. And I'm like, if you're not going to meet up, I'm not really interested. She's like, well, blah, blah. It just depends. I'm like, let's do a FaceTime call, and we'll go from there. So we do a FaceTime call. Goes for about 2.5 hours.
What's she looking like here? Fill us in.
Yeah,
on the-
yeah.
Um,
I want the deets.
My type. She's 45. She's 10 years older than me. 9 years perfect.
Not
for me.
quite Linda McMahon age, but she's getting
Not quite
there.
yet. But she's about 10
Rock
years
for
older
the
than me.
picking.
She's 5'2", probably 120, 130.
Okay.
Middle-aged woman.
Slender
big
woman.
knockers, white girl, no
Tattoos?
ass. No tattoos, unfortunately.
I'm
So,
surprised.
yeah, same here.
That's your taste usually.
It really is. And so we do a FaceTime call, and she's telling me that she wants to date separately, but her husband won't let her. She's like, if we don't date separately, I'm gonna leave him. She's getting sick of just doing 2 dudes and a chick. She's also a swinger. She wants to date separately, and she wants to do 2 girls and a dude. Is that right? She's getting sick
You
of
are
that.
indeed the most interested man in the world.
So
Look
I
at
also
that.
have
Continue.
experience with swinging too. Like the chick who taught me how to massage Richie was a swinger. That's just
Dude.
what day.
Oh.
So I have experience, but swinging's not really my thing. I'm very health conscious about my sexuality, or not my sexuality, but my sexual health. I'm straight. So yeah. So we can go to that. and
Praise
she's
God, brother.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me? Anyway, so we keep
Oh,
going
this is
back.
great.
She's like, I want to date separately, but he's not on board. I said I'd leave, and I'm getting sick of doing this stuff. What he's doing. They opened the relationship about 2 years ago. I'm like, cool, blah blah. We talk about exchange stories. The call ends. She sends me a picture of her tits right afterwards, and a picture of her pussy right afterwards. And she asked for a dick pic. And
Did you do that?
no? So
With the
I'm-
lotion, please, with the lotion.
So I'm cool with it, except I gotta be in a relationship, and I like doing funny ones with sunglasses over it, or in a hot dog bun, or a bag of nuts. I like doing funny ones. I don't know her like that.
Rewind's fucking cock does cosplay.
So I
You looks
responded
like a
with-
disappointed
my
grandpa.
My response was, "You can see in person."
You are not getting anything from Santa this year, boy.
Nope, I'm remembering all this.
Well,
So my response was like, "If you want to see, you got to see in person first."
I played hard to get.
There you go, buddy.
He's like, it's bigger in person.
You thought Virgil had a
Objects
big
in
schlong.
picture are bigger than
Rewind.
they appear.
Yeah. There's the legend of Virgil Schlong, but the real legend is of Rewind, man. This he's hung like a moose.
So then we go into Monday, and she messaged me in the morning about like blah blah blah, was her day and the holiday and all this crap. Tuesday comes around, she shoots me a message saying, "I'm going to San Francisco next week for work. I have a hotel."
Mm.
I respond, "Are you asking me to fly out there?" She's like, "I'm flying in Monday. I have nothing going on that day. You said you're off Monday and Tuesday." So I look at flights, and I'm like, I can't do this. So I shot her back. Said, "I'd like to meet locally first." You never know, dude. We could not get along or whatever. She's like, "Fair." So Tuesday afternoon, 5:30, she shoots me a message. "Hey, do you got anything going on? I have free time from 6 to about 7:38. And I said, "Yeah, I got nothing really going on. What do you want to do?" Because she just asked me to go to San Francisco, so I don't know if she just wants to come over and bang. Like, you know what I mean? So she's
Dude,
like,
she wasn't bringing you to San Francisco, and she didn't want to fuck.
fucking.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
asked her, like, "What do you have in mind?" She's like, "Drinks and appetizers." I'm like, "I'm not a big drinker, once or twice a year, and I hate going on dates at bars because I will nurse my beer, and the chick next to me will have 3 margaritas." So it's like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I know the area she lives in. So I'm like, "There's an Italian restaurant out that way. You want to meet there?" She's like, "Yeah, I know where it's at." So we go there. She beats me there. And before I leave, I shot you guys a message on YouTube like, "Hey, I got a date. You should be over at 7:30.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I left the app open, but I closed it on my phone just in case, like, I could run to the bathroom and say, "Hey, the date's going long," or whatever. So we get like, but it's weird because like I want to focus on her. You know what I mean? It's just weird thing. Like I want to focus on her. We get there. She has a drink. She has one drink.
Did she show you a picture of her husband? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Well, that's a good point. Like if I asked, if I could have found, I could. Yeah, but yeah, whatever. So the day goes long. Like we didn't order for a while. Like the waiter went around like 3 times. On the 4th time, we finally ordered. We just chopped it up. We just talked. She says she's dating separately. She put her foot down. She's dating separately. Her husband getting anything about it. My first response was, she said it was a gray area. She's sort of a gray area. My first response was, "Is he going to shoot me, or am I going to walk to my truck? There's going to be 20 guys waiting for me." And she said he doesn't own a gun and he's not really violent. I'm like, well, I own one, so just in case.
Yeah, good.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
So like all this stuff, the date goes well. At the end of the date, she's like, "Just by the way, this isn't a cold sore. It's a scratch from her cat." You could tell it was like a little like. Oh, but no, you can seriously tell. It was like under her lip. It was like a little.
She screwed the pooch too many times.
That's a technical
Whoa.
foul.
You could tell it was like a scab from a cat. You could tell.
No
She was
pass.
just,
No,
Whoa.
collect $200 on that one, bud.
You could
You
You
tell.
think you did go to San Francisco, you would have been the receiver.
No, maybe you. But you could tell it was just like a little scab from like a cat. It really was. So we go out. So I pay for the bill. We go out, and I lean in for a kiss. She pushes me away, and I start apologizing. She pushes me away, and she has gum in her mouth. She's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Okay." So I lean in, and we start making out as like next to her car.
Oh, he's got the kiss.
And then
He's got
she
the hurt
leaves.
now too.
No, it's a scab. And then she
Why does
walks
it
to the-
burn when I pee?
That's
So
what
she
I'm
walks to her
receiving.
car. And she turns around like, "What? You're not gonna spank me?" So I slapped her ass and I kissed her again, and I kissed her again. And I got on my
Whoa,
truck.
whoa. Back that up
He,
again.
he carries a mobile bowl and pulls out how many swats she's going to get to.
Well, let's back that up again. What does she say to you now again?
She's like, "What? You're not gonna spank me?" Like jokingly.
Whoa.
Damn.
So I slapped her on the ass and I kissed her, and then she went on her way. Typical
Huh.
date. So I get in my truck, I pull up the app, and it looks like the stream was over. I'm like, "Oh shit!" So I drive home, and I see you emailed me. I emailed you back.
Yep.
And then she messaged me like an hour later saying, "Hey, I had a good time." I'm like, "Me too." She's like, "Do you want to do it again?" I'm like, "Yeah, anytime." So cut to Friday. She messaged me Friday and she said, "Hey, I'm free Sunday between like 11 and 2:33. I'm like, "Cool. What do you want to do? Dinner or lunch, coffee, movie / or go for like a walk. We have like a lot of nature hikes around here. She said, I don't care as long as it's close to your house. And then she wrote sex.
Whoa, hold
She
on,
wrote
hold
sex.
on.
Yeah.
We got some red flags here.
All the red flags.
There's a lot. The herpes was
You
enough
just
for me.
now picked up on the red flags?
No, it's just like I'm compiling
There
all
was a
these
red
ones.
flag with the red sore on her lip.
They're all
It was just a
compiling in
little
my head
stab.
as we go here. You know, she's given you now a set time at a set day during football season too, mind you. The reason I throw that out there is she might be married, man.
You know, she 100% is married.
She is married. He said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is she still with this guy though?
Yeah, they're in
Yeah.
an open relationship, and
They're in
she's
an open
dating.
relationship.
She's dating. He wants to date together.
He wants to sandwich his wife
Yeah.
with dudes.
Yeah, and she wants to date separately. And she said if we don't
He
date
wants
separately,
Rewind to give her the pudding pop.
yeah, if they don't date separately, that she's going to leave him. So this is a
Okay.
gray area right here.
Does she have kids?
Yeah, she has 2 kids.
God
Oh,
help us, dude.
She's looking
This
for
is
Rewind
rough.
to be the stepdaddy here.
No. She's just looking to have fun and experiment. We'll get to all this
Okay.
stuff. There's somewhere to go. So it's not cheating. It's sort of a gray area. She said
Yes.
she told her husband that she's dating separately. She's putting her foot down or she's leaving. Okay, yeah. So she said, and then it was blah blah blah. She said, and then she said sex, and I said, yeah, you. She said, yeah. So Saturday morning comes around. She messages me again, and she's like, unfortunately, I can't make it. I can't make it, but I can meet up tonight between 5 and 8. I'm like, I get off work at 5:30. You can be over at my place at 6.
You're like, it'll be over at 5:15, no problem.
That's 10 minutes of
Maybe you would
cuddling.
be. Maybe you.
Yep.
And she said, perfect. I sent her my address. 4:35 o'clock, she texted or messaged me again and said, unfortunately, I can't, but can we do a FaceTime call later tonight? I said, fine. Shit comes up. No big deal. Do a FaceTime call with her. She told me that Sunday she's going to go to her kid's game. She should go to her kid's game. I'm like, yeah, you should. And then Friday evening or Saturday morning, she told her husband about me. And her husband
Lots for that, dude.
her husband said he gets it, blah, blah, blah. So he took her on a date to she's like into art and stuff. Took her like an art museum. And that night they're going to go to a hotel. They're going to a hotel in town, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, this is a lot of drama and a lot of shit I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
You
So
think?
so I shot her this message.
Oh, we're getting an exclusive.
Dude.
I said, hey. Oh, by the way, while she's driving to the hotel for her husband, she's talking about she wants to blow me. And she's like sending me pictures of her tits.
Wow.
So I'm saying, hey, I'm
Prove
having.
it.
So I wrote her, hey, I'm having mixed feelings about this. I get you're married and you're trying to figure shit out, and you want to.
That cold sore's just fucking with me.
What?
The cold sore's just
It's not
fucking
cool. It's a scab. It was a scab. You could honestly tell it's a scab. Richie. Okay. I'm having mixed feelings about this. Hey, I'm having mixed feelings about this. I get you are married and you're trying to figure shit out, and you want to open it to dating separately, but your husband's not 100% on board. You wanted to meet up Sunday, and you asked me if we could meet up then you changed your mind, which I get. You should see your kid's game. No big deal. You asked me if we could hang out tonight, then you changed your mind because your husband wants to take you out, which is cool. I also think he's doing it to prove that you don't need to date other men. But I could be wrong, but that's the feeling I get. You said you were not sure when we are going to meet up again when you get back to San Francisco. I also asked her too, like when we're going to meet up again, the FaceTime call. It's like, why we have an appointment for a counselor? They have a marriage counselor, an ethical non-monogamous counselor, like helps them with like open relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I also think, all right, so
I wonder how much poon that guy gets.
He's encouraging all these open relationships. Don't you need an extra partner? Let me join in.
And he gets paid for it.
Tag me in.
Give me $200 an hour.
okay,
Fuck.
so I'm not
John's
sure
like, I'm getting into that fucking psychology, dude.
Sorry to interrupt, Rewind. I think I am in the wrong business here. Shit.
So you said you are not sure when we're going to meet up when you get back from San Francisco, but you need to talk with your therapist first. I don't know. It feels messy. I don't know. I like you and I want to see you, but I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like. I want to continue hanging out with you, but do you know what that looks like? Changing shit around. Going to look like last minute. Or I want to continue hanging out with you, but it's going to be a lot of last minute cancellation, changing shit around. I'm not down with. I can do meet up last minute is cool, but the other shit isn't. That's how I feel. She wrote back, I hear you and I'm trying to open it up, but it's going to take more time. I should not be trying to make it happen with you because it could end up jerking you around. So I will hang out. I will hang back. We can keep messaging each other if you want to stick around. But I don't know how long it will be until I'm ready and able to meet. And I said, no, I'm not really interested. Then she sent me a on the app you can send not interested message. Sent me that. So I blocked her and I deleted the chat, but I took a few screenshots to remember what I said.
What a game player this little vixen is.
Man.
Yeah. But like I've done like ethical non-monogamous. It's supposed to be like open communication and like all this stuff, and it's messy. So I'm bowing out.
So, what do you got on the horizon now? You got any hot dates this week?
I don't got anything right now. It changes it goes up and down. So
Which app you gonna hit up? Plenty of Fish or Bumble?
I'm still
or
on
what?
that. So
Is there any upcoming Dom cons or anything?
there's one in Phoenix. Rich, you want to go with me?
Nah, hell no,
Bro,
dude.
come on!
Not my scene, bro.
Come on, he's
I
offering to
can put you
fly
on a
down.
leash, like walk you around.
My
like you.
wife would whoop my ass for real.
You can come too. You know, we can both have you on a leash.
Oh,
Shit,
Jesus
rewind
Christ.
Sounds like Rewind will whip your ass as well.
Yeah, shit. He was gonna fly to San Francisco for a chance at some poon.
Jesus
I
Christ.
thought about it.
To
but,
massage you, he'll go to Phoenix.
Oh, no, I'm good.
was that a good one for the first one, guys? I don't know.
That was
I
great.
like that.
That was great. It was a great segment, dude.
Dude, you got like a book waiting for you of your life and your stories out there somewhere. Some one day
Absolutely.
some random author is gonna contact us and be like, do you have the contact information for this gentleman right here? Who? This guy Rewind. I've been
Man, they
watching the
call
show.
Rewind.
Yeah. His fucking stories are gold. I want to write a book over on this
Fuck
guy's
yeah.
life stories.
Jesus
So-
Christ.
All in all, I made out. I got some good Italian food, and no one got hurt. So it was
There you
fun.
go.
It was good.
What'd you
Yeah.
get at the restaurant to eat, man? What
Man,
Lunch,
you almost got the boner in your garbage truck, man. That would have been sweet.
there's
dude?
a guy who did. This is before I worked there. He got a blowjob in a garbage truck. This is before that
Fucking-
camera. This is like
You
20
need to
years
you
ago,
need to
dude.
up the ante on that one. You need to bone a chick in the garbage
There's
truck.
not a lot of room, and it's pretty dirty in there. So I don't know. But
Do
yeah,
Has
it in the
anybody
car-
been
do
ever
it in
known
the
to do
carriage
that?
where they keep the trash?
there was one dude like 20 years ago that got a blowjob in a truck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Do you know how hard up you got to be to get laid or get some action?
I think it was his wife. I heard, and they're trying to like spice
Still.
stuff up.
Come on,
That's some
Go-
G shit right there. If you can pull
Seriously.
that, fellas.
dude. This guy's got he's banged at least 6 or 7 cougars in the back of that motherfucker at some
Yeah.
point. He just hasn't opened up about it yet.
Yeah.
All right,
You
No, I
he's
couldn't
got
tell
Linda
what-
McMahon in the back of the Portland truck.
You
All right.
couldn't tell where the smell was coming from.
Jesus.
Oh boy. That was a hot
That
segment.
was a good
man.
one.
That was-
Wow.
When
Good
you
news,
think
this
he
was-
can't up the ante, he always does.
Dude.
I have 2 stories that I can't tell on the air though. I have 2 ones that I can't tell on the air, so I don't know.
Those are Facebook Live exclusives.
No, we'll start a Patreon here soon, and we can do it a special. You get 1 bonus punishment bowl a month. The $5 tier gets the 1 bonus punishment bowl a month that you were going to put up with the Patreon. The
That's
high
badass.
tier is $100. If you do it every year for a month for 100, we are going to fly out and whip you.
I'm pretty good for riding crop. I'm really good for riding crop, guys.
Oh god.
Exclusively on a Wrestling with Reality OnlyFans.
Oh, God.
Dude,
We
You're
can
the brains
monetize
here.
this, why not?
Oh god.
Wow.
You good, Jude? Any thoughts, Jude? You look a little confused.
I'm not confused at all, buddy. I'm good.
He's like, I know Jesus, I'm good.
Yep. Just out here doing the Lord's work, buddy.
He is. He sure as hell is.
Oh god.
Man, you really are 1 in a million, bro.
He's one in 7.5 billion.
On a fateful night many months ago, this gentleman stumbled upon Wrestling with Reality to troll us, and ended up becoming a great friend of the show and a regular here every week. And we live for his stories. Yes, that's the beauty of technology, folks.
This really is the American dream.
Sure,
When I grow up, I want to be Rewind.
I do too.
It's 95% of the time it's pretty boring, guys. But there's that 5% chance where
We
You got more action in fucking 5 minutes of your stories fucking than all of us.
Somebody
Chuck
thinks
Norris
that we
works
should
way around
change,
Thomas.
guys. Somebody thinks we should change the name of the show. To
Wrestling with
W.
rewinds.
I like wrestling with rewind. That's a good one.
you don't
Wow
wanna-
with rewind
Rewind.
could be a new promotion that we could come up with.
Fuck.
He's the commissioner. When you get out of line, he whips you in the back.
That's
He
not
gets
a
the
bad
riding
idea.
crop out because he's skilled in it.
Oh god.
Very skilled. It's very it's very good.
Is it difficult to?
Riding crop is a very versatile tool. You can do a lot of different things.
Oh shit.
Do I want to know what else you want to do? Other than
No, you don't want to know.
That's going to end this week's episode of the Punishment Bowl. Oh, he's got one more thing. Hold on.
So one more thing. Do you guys want me to read DMs next week or tell another story? 'Cause I got some
Dude,
good
you can
DMs.
do either or you could do both.
Whatever. You're the content creator.
Whatever you want. You're rolling, finishing out the show as much as you want, bro.
Okay. I'll do DMs. I'll do that. Okay.
Well,
Unless something
this-
pops up.
dude, I can't wait to hear more because you got us all in tears here, folks. So come back next week, folks, of course, as always, because you'll get another great segment of Rewind's The Punishment Bowl.
Survive by web shoes.
Wham!
That's
This
badass.
really just happened, bro.
Is that not normal?
Normal.
Wow.
That feels normal to me. That's not normal.
Fuck.
Sometimes I'm not a guy that's at a loss for words often. And sometimes
Dude,
you
he
bring me
leaves
to
us
that
way
point.
every week.
Yeah. I love it.
From the entrance too. Taz is the goat. I'm like, welcome.
It's never
Okay.
it's evolved everything to the way it is. That's what I like. Oh, hold on
Uh.
here. That's not a riding crop he whips you with. Oh, I don't know what I want to know what else he's doing. No.
So it's all. By the way, it's all consensual. I
Of
believe
course
it's-
it absolutely.
Praise God for that. I don't want to see you on the news, dude.
I would hope.
Gives our
If
show a
not,
bad
it's
look.
charges. You'll be right next to Moxley with murder.
I believe in open communication.
You haven't used a plastic bag or a syringe.
Yeah, or a syringe.
Rewind's been watching the last two matches of All Out on repeat for the
He's
last
like,
4
"Hold my
days.
ear, bro.
It's
That's
like
the
that-
scab on the lip. It's from the needle.
Oh,
Jesus.
wow.
This
Well-
went off the rails quick.
That's the fun of it. So
It's like the episode of Dave Chappelle where he has the confidentiality contract. He makes the chick sign before he goes.
God, I haven't had this good of laughs in a long time. So
Dude, hopefully we don't get no Vince McMahon trial shit from you.
No, it's
No.
all consensual, dude. I believe in open
Don't be
communication.
shitting on women, bro.
yeah, he's not.
No. I know a chick who does that for a living, so I'm good.
Oh,
Oh,
It's called the You're Fired.
That's when you
Wow.
think it can't get thicker, it does.
I think we might have to get to that story one week.
We want the real skinny on that one.
Yeah.
That's
After
not
some
normal.
days
Rewind's
with
heroes.
Rewind, tell us all
Rewind's
about
heroes. Taz, R. Kelly.
Vince McMahon. Rewind, do you have wrestling toys that are sexual?
Not in a long time.
Named after wrestlers?
Okay, so last year, or no,
Dude, he said that Hulk Hogan
No.
influenced him with the fucking whipping of his belt.
so like 3 years ago when I was with my ex, she wanted this really expensive vibrator. It was $285 called the Womanizer,
Yeah.
and I wanted
For a
to
vibrator?
Womanizer?
Yeah.
The womanizer?
That's what it's called. That's what the vibrator is called. It's like $285, and I wanted to call it Taz, and she wouldn't go for it.
Oh my god.
when you stick it in, or what do you call it? His finishing move?
I'm gonna give you that Taz mission, baby.
Yeah. I'm gonna put you in the.
I'm gonna give you my red hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
And you don't think we're getting thrown off the fucking air?
Hey, we won't be on YouTube next week.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first time. Probably won't be the last. So
Fuck monetizing it now.
no, it's all good. I'm good with it. No, all jokes aside, dude, that shit was tremendous. Rewind. Thank you, buddy.
Dude.
We love it. We all love you.
I don't
We
know
all
what you
love
do
you.
that look.
Dude, Richie was sending me text messages today. He's like, I hope he shows up tonight. He's like, can you message him, to make sure he's coming because I want a punishment ball tonight.
Dude, I'm so sorry about that. I do not want to be like.
No, you're good.
No, you didn't do anything wrong, bro.
No,
That
you're
day went
fine.
long. Dude, again, I felt so bad about it, dude. So.
Dude,
People have lives,
It
dude.
lived up to the hype, man.
People have lives, man, too. It was well worth the wait. We've been waiting on this all week long, so we're happy to have
didn't
this.
disappoint.
He never disappoint. We said he wouldn't disappoint, and he didn't.
No.
It's the
Shit,
gift that
this
keeps
guy's
on
got
giving.
stories for days.
Yeah, I got some good ones.
I love it, man. All right, fellas. Well, we're going to wrap up on the time. So thank you for joining us tonight, Jeremy, Jude, and of course, the legendary Rewind. We'll see you guys again next week. But really quick, before I close the green room down, guys, next week we're going to be doing our theme song episode. So we're going to need somebody to do it for us. Jude, would you be game to do that portion for me and Richie to pick the songs out and be the moderator
absolutely.
again? All right.
Yeah.
So this is the criteria that I think we kind of came up with. We were thinking like what late 80s on to the modern time, guys. Is that fine for everybody here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mixture.
Yeah,
of
that
everything,
works.
That's awesome.
We got to do like 5 seconds. I know you were saying 10 seconds. We got to keep it to like
Because we'll
5.
all hit right around our ages and our time frames that we watched at.
Yeah.
5 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, 5
We'll say 5 seconds will be the rule of what you can hear on the theme song next week when we do this. And then, of course, we're going to do it very similar to the style that we did on the Jeopardy when we did the Jeopardy stuff a few weeks ago. So Jude will moderate for us. And when we say he'll moderate for the ass kicking, then I'm going to give Richie once again. So,
Right.
Yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to be an
another
interesting
beer chugging contest.
I'll have another beer drinking
John
contest.
doesn't want the smoke on that. Dude.
I'm down.
He leaves this much in his beer. He calls it done.
Yeah, you did.
It was an accident. It was an
That's what she
accident.
said.
No, I call it the Air Force way.
Hey, I'll jump in on this beer drinking thing.
All right. So you 100%. Anybody wants to get on next week and join the chug contest?
Dude, that ain't fair, man. You got that beard with the more aerodynamic.
He can hide
chug.
it in there.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to join in, we can do it next week. But
I'll
Yeah.
bet Bird's Eye View too really won.
We should do a shotgunning contest one of these days because I'm pretty good at that. I haven't drank in a long time. I'm pretty good.
we can definitely set up some fun drinking games once in a while for everybody, even if you're not a drinker.
Digital beer pong.
Yeah. You never know what you can do with technology. So
Anytime
Right.
someone says rewind or Taz, you got to take a shot.
Oh God, we'd
Oh,
all
We'll
do
be
this,
dead.
bro.
dead.
I only said it like 2 or 3 times this today, so calm down, guys.
What do you guys think for it? 20 songs? Is that good enough? You think 20 songs?
Yeah, 20's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that'll be the criteria for next week's show, and it'll be fun to see who wins this. I don't know, guys. It's gonna be a hard one to pick
Yep.
for theme songs, man. I'm gonna have to think on this. Who I think is gonna be the odds-on favorite, and I'll give my prediction for you guys next week. And all I know is Richie, you're fucking toast. It's
Yeah,
over.
right, dude.
It's over.
Yeah,
I'm going
right.
up again. We need a
Okay.
good tiebreaker here, and then I'm gonna whoop your ass in a few chug offs. So,
We'll see. And a few chug offs. You couldn't
Yeah.
beat me in the one.
dude, let's
You
line them
looked
up, brother.
You looked like you needed a nipple on that bottle, man.
Oh, buddy,
Oh.
we're going. It's go time. All right,
Okay.
it's
okay.
go time. All right, guys.
Rewind could teach you a thing about opening your throat.
Dude.
Oh
Oh,
fuck. Oh fuck.
I teach both of you guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
well, theme songs next week, guys. We hope you all come back and join us on that, guys. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you next week. Okay.
All right,
Thanks,
see you
guys.
All
Yep.
right. Thanks,
See you guys.
See you later, man.
All right, I'm going to close down the green room for everybody now.
Well,
Well, guys, truly fun show as always, as it is every week. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time.
I was gonna say, dude, that shit was funny. I appreciate all the good sport from Rewind and Jude and Jeremy and everybody making it fun tonight, and all the people that stopped by. It's been a great show. Tuesday's where it's at, man. If you ain't here, what are you doing? You know, I mean, we have a blast each and every week.
And I know we like to go long because
Yeah.
it's we don't even have to use it for radio all the time. We just like to
Right.
go long because it's just fun to talk with you guys and have some laughs. It's like
Yeah.
you guys are all great. We say it every week, and it's nice to see new faces come out week after week. We get some new people coming in, and tell friends, tell people that you think in your groups that for professional wrestling or whatever. If you think somebody
Yeah.
would enjoy it, please send them on over to the show. It's for everybody.
100%.
We're always going to have some good laughs and some good times here on Wrestling with Reality. Closing thoughts. Close us out, my dude.
Man, I'm just happy that we're keeping this thing going. It's been a fun time. We got the inaugural edition of the Punishment Bowl tonight. That's going to be a regular thing. Dude, I'm telling you, we got big things on the horizon. We're going to have more interviews. If you guys didn't check out the Ricardo Rodriguez episode that we did, we touched on so many serious topics. We got to talk about his time with Alberto Del Rio in the WWE. And it was like a rise, fall, and then rise again episode for him. It was so cool to hear his journey and stuff, especially if you come from a world of substance abuse and stuff like that. You can get on a different level of relating to what we were talking about. And it was a really good episode. So if you missed it, go back in the archives, check that thing out. It was one of my favorite episodes we've ever done. And we wish Ricardo Rodriguez all the best, and thank you for his time, by the way, on that. And go check out Three Legacies Wrestling as well.
Yeah, they just had I was going to say, they just had their second anniversary of their show, and they had a sold-out crowd there. And I saw the pictures of the venue, and
For sure.
man,
what a humble guy.
What a good dude, man. I'm really rooting. We're really rooting him on.
Yeah.
He's
So,
doing good.
any closing thoughts from you real quick before we wrap it up?
No, guys, we appreciate it so much. Maybe if we can do an impromptu show sometime this week, maybe we will. But if not, we'll be back next Tuesday night. So please make sure you come back and join us once again. Tell a friend, tell everybody. And Jeremy mentions a good point here, 100%. He says, have a great night, my brothers. Really quick, let's not forget about the families tomorrow that are remembering 9/11. 100%. 100%. Jude says, he's only 2 hours away from me. Yep. Sean Fuller, another great episode in the books. Thanks, Sean. And thank you guys, each and every one of you. We have such a fun time, and we'll see you guys again next week. So for Richie, I'm John. We're out of here. We'll see you next time on Wrestling with Reality.